Welcome to the Notorious Scoundrels, a Star Wars Legion podcast bringing you the latest news, general perspective, and competitive discussion.
Welcome back to the Notorious Scoundrels podcast. I'm Kyle. I'm here with Jay and John. What's up, gentlemen?
How's it going?
John drove all night to get here on time to record this podcast.
Just so I can make it here on time. That was the only thing on my mind that kept me awake, kept my eyelids open.
That's the kind of commitment
get there,
we
Jay's
like.
gonna kill me.
Yeah, I like that commitment. You know what? You're all right.
Yes.
We're keeping you on for one more week.
1 week at a time.
Yeah.
Second
That's
place
all
at
I need.
LVO got you one more week on
Oh,
the
man.
network.
Doing good over here. We're, just getting ready for a bunch of stuff coming up. We've got the new season of Stormtide coming, which is cool. We're also getting prepared for Adepticon. We've got a booth at Adepticon, and we're doing some sponsorship there. And then also, I'm personally getting ready for the Canto Bite tournament that's coming up here in February. John's going to be coming up to that, and I don't know. You guys know I've been waffling on lists for like the last 3 weeks. I finally settled on my list, thanks to Kyle reminding me who I was and what I should be playing. So I'm really excited about that, and it'll be good to see John in person finally after two and a half years, 3 years almost, I think, at this point.
Yeah, it's been, I can't remember last tournament. Northeast Open would have been. So
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, so it'll be good. Got a lot going on, and I'm just excited to hear about LVO now.
It was a crazy tournament. There's a lot to say.
There is. Yeah, so most of this episode is going to be just talking about LVO. John was, of course, there, which we will get to. There was a request by some folks for some more sort of refreshing some old strategy topics, which we'll do at some point in the future. We definitely will get back to that. But LVO was literally yesterday. So we are going to talk about LVO this week. Another tournament episode. There have been a lot of tournaments, actually, I feel like.
And there's so many more coming almost every month.
Jam-packed schedule. We got Cherokee Open, Canto Bite, Adepticon.
The North Cali one.
Yeah.
By the Bay.
Yep. Legion by the Bay.
Star.
It's just at least one a month, basically.
And that's just
for the next
up to
6
the
months.
summer.
Yeah. It's amazing.
So it is.
And we're really getting a ton of people at these tournaments I know that there's, I guess, world invites on the line, but not really though, right? It's not really like a ton of huge support, I guess. There's no OP structure that we know of. It's all just kind of guesswork for the most part right now,
Yep.
That's what I mean by, I guess. I know you probably got a world invite, but we don't actually know what that means, or
I didn't get anything.
Was LVO? Did they call it a grand championship?
No. Oh, I thought they did. I thought somebody had said they did.
Frontline Games tournament.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So Adepticon will be a grand championship, I think, technically.
Whatever that means.
Or whatever that means. I still don't know what that means.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, because I think it's interesting because not too long ago they had that form. They had us all fill out that form like 2 months ago to see who had world invites and how you got your world invite, with no what that actually means. And then now they're giving out more. So I'm not sure what the game plan is, but
they may or may not be. I guess we don't know that for sure, do we?
I guess not. I mean, I thought it was. I thought Brendan had said something on the cast about it being a grand championship, and there was going to be potential of maybe said potential.
I think that's what he said. He said that it was going to be officially labeled a grand championship, and he was not sure if that meant that it also came with world's invites, but he was going to figure that out. So, and honestly, if it does, that seems fine. There's been a lot of new folks coming to the game over the last couple of years. So it'd be nice to get some fresh faces, some opportunities to get in there too, if we're going to have, whatever it is that they end up doing worlds. So
a lot of old folks that don't play anymore too.
Yeah.
Right.
I know my world's invite, because I was going to be deployed, got passed to Nathan, and now Nathan doesn't play anymore, and I'm here.
Can you get it back?
I'm like, I earned it. Where is it? To earn it again.
There you go. Have him give you the coaster and just write your name in.
I think my name's in it.
There you go. Anyway, we are going to talk about LVO, but first, you got any housekeeping for us, Jay?
Yeah, so we talked about this last week, but we do have season 2 of Stormtide coming up in February, and that's so if you're a new player, if you haven't played Stormtide, you can jump in here at season 2. You don't have to have any of season 1 to play, starting with season 2, so that's good. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, we've got our order tokens are in stock and online, which is great. And then, yeah, I think the final thing is if you're going to Adepticon, keep your eyes open. We're going to have a booth there. We're going to have some special product that'll be Adepticon exclusive stuff. So, come check us out. And we might do something else special. I'm working on a couple other things. So we'll see. So, yeah, those are the big things right now.
Awesome.
Exciting.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I got some major FOMO this weekend watching all the fun at LVO, so I'm very excited for Adepticon.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah. Still have to buy tickets and crap.
Yeah, get on that, John. All right. Well, sir, you are fresh off of Las Vegas Open. It was a 92 person tournament over 3 days. Basically, the first day you had to go 2-1 at least to advance to the next day, and then that would be Saturday. You have to go undefeated to advance to Sunday, and then Sunday was like a 6-person elimination thing.
Shenanigan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they had a bye in the middle there. It was weird. Yeah. Anyway, I'll let you talk about it because you got second place. So congratulations.
I did.
Always second place, huh, Johnny boy?
Hey, but a 92 person tournament. Come on, is that the largest tournament to date?
In the US. Yeah.
In the US, yeah.
Wow. Well, you're coming up to Kanto, right? Prepare for second place again, sir, because I'm taking first.
Why is Kyle coming up? Kyle able to go now?
You're about to listen. Luke is all good and fine until he faces down 2 ATSTs, and then he's in trouble. So
that's when he's like the best.
Nah.
What?
You'll see.
Kyle, are you hearing this?
Have you ever had 24 dice thrown at you?
Yes.
It's what's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
All right, pal.
I've never faced 2 ATSCs with Jedi Luke, but I have faced 1, and it went pretty well for Jedi Luke. So
yeah, 1, sure.
It was being piloted by Luke Cook, so it's got to count for something, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
he's old news.
I don't know, Jay.
I haven't seen Luke Cook anywhere
we could
recently.
Duel 2 ATSTs against Luke, and that's it.
Let's do that.
1-on-2.
Let's do that. All right.
Put that on stream.
So if we go in the final match, what we're saying is we're going to drop all our other units, and it's just going to be Luke versus 2 ATSTs.
I'm down with that.
All right. That would be fun.
I think Luke probably, I don't know. I guess it depends highly on terrain.
Yeah.
That'd be a very terrain dependent situation.
Command cards.
Yeah.
Got
Anyways.
6 command cards there.
Yeah.
So for our listeners, I'm just teasing John. It's great that he made second place. It's a little competitive spirit. We're just been going at each other for Kanto coming up here in February. So so tell us all about it, John.
So I got to play 8 games total. Yeah, I had 3 games Friday, Saturday, and then 2 games on Sunday that I played. My first day, I broke the curse the first day. I didn't lose round 1. So that was big.
Yep.
I lost round 2. So I got my loss in early. And then I lost to a droid player. That was my first droid game of the weekend. And it was rough. He actually made it to the top 6 as well. So my 2 losses in the tournament were to I think it was 4th place and 1st place. But he had double Magnas, double Spiders, and Kraken, which I felt kind of was like the most standard version of the Separatist meta right now. It was also the only time I was blue player, so I think I'll blame it on that one. I chose blue too. Like we were tied. I got to choose. I was like, I don't know.
You were tied at 800.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
Lots of
God.
800 point lists.
Good.
Yeah. Four of the top 6 were 800 point lists.
Yeah. And then there's Bobby in the top 6 with a 14-point bid.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I mean, there were like, I guess we might as well just roll a dice now to see who's red and blue, you know?
Yeah. Had my little chance cube from Star Wars land and
Yeah, there you go.
treated me well for those.
Well, what did you bring, John? Tell us. Why don't you start with that?
Yeah. So I brought Luke and Han, and then my buddy here, Chewie, backed by 3 snipers and 2 rebel vets with the heavy weapon and 2 Mark IIs. So 10 activations, 4 activation gun line. So I guess that's smaller, but they all hit very hard. Critical 2 points of fire support, and Chewie every game just kept them alive. I don't, even when I lost, you know, my core, I maybe picked up 2 or 3 models total for my core units. I had games where I picked up no core units. Chewie's just able to keep them alive long enough so that their continuous firepower just snowballs. And then by then, you know, they have to deal with Luke once they get past, once Chewie's done being able to Guardian, Luke's in their face. I played against 4 separatist lists over the weekend out of my 8. So I had 4 separatists, 2 Imperial, 2 Gar. And separatist was tough. I mean, I went 2-2 against separatist. I did get more comfortable against Magna Guards than I was initially. Just taking advantage of the ranged Pierce. I don't think they ever got into melee with my squads. Either trying and not making it there, dying before they got there, or starting to and then running back away because of all the ranged Pierce. So I mean, Rebels, you bring some Pierce, I don't think you got to worry about Magnas. That final matchup, though, there were no Magnas, nothing to Pierce. Real hard to get value out of the Pierce. Yeah.
So walk us through your Saturday and your Sunday games.
Okay. Yeah. So I had so many really good games that I really enjoyed. I got to play against a lot of different variety. So the first real notable game, Saturday, I played against Dustin. I've seen the name Growrude. Sorry if I mispronounce it. From Colorado. And he brought an Imperial gunline with Vader. Op Vader. It was pretty disgusting. I think he had 5 T-21s with 5 T-21s, 2 snipers, 2 officers, and Op Vader. That's 10, right? I think so. Every single unit had access to their own free action aim. So either like offensive push because they had a captain, or a specialist to do a free action and get the aim. And then one of the officers, I think, had take cover and the other had spotter. So he had a spotter 2 and a spotter 1. So just aim saturation like you used to see in the past, except, you know, now with better weapons. It was gross. It was very gross.
Sounds gross.
Yeah. But Pierce is a thing. And I can't remember what I fire supported, but I fire supported a couple shots early and chunked down like 2 squads. Like either round 1 or 2, I removed like 8 stormtroopers in 2 shots. Just Pierce. So early rounds, attrition going heavily in my favor. But then he sent Vader in. And I've played against plenty of Vader. You know, New Orleans, I think I faced him 3 times, and I would just kill him left and right. But I mean, Dustin knows what he's doing with Vader for sure. I can't remember exact details of the duel we had or the confrontation with Luke and Vader, but Luke could not shake Vader. I couldn't push him off. I couldn't get rid of him. And all 4 of my core units were right there with Vader and Luke and Han. All like my whole army was there except the snipers.
It's not where you want to be.
No. It's not. I mean, the rest of his army was almost non-existent at this point. He had some officers and like some snipers. But Luke burst of speeded out of there, I think round 4 or 5, to go deal with, it was key positions. So I abandoned that one. Vader's burst of speed was gone. It's like, sorry, core units. Vader can kill 2 of you, but not 4. So like, it is what it is. And Luke went to secure the other 2 key positions. Han followed him, removing 4 models at a time because Vader can't catch him now. And I think we ended it shortly after that when Vader could kill things, but Chewie could tie the same key position he was on, and Han and Luke had the other 2 covered by far. But crazy tight game, despite like the snowball that I had early on. Very enjoyable, tough win. I think that was the first game of the day, so rough way to start. So that was Saturday's first game. The next game, the third game on Saturday, I played against our own Timbo from one of our riders. And he had Anakin and triple Wookiees and a Chieftain and 4 core units. He's been doing well with it. Like he was. Yeah.
Him and I have been. It's been a little bit of a meme within the 5th Trooper blog talk about Anakin and Wookiees. Let's put it that way.
I want to try it. I feel like it looks
Evan,
fun.
that's what Evan Paul has been running to.
So that game was super fun. He had R2D2 as well. And I remember turn 0 was tough because I didn't have a lot of choices where I could deny R2D2 his point and feel comfortable with the objective against the Wookiees. So I ended up taking battle lines, giving up R2D2, conceding that he would score, and going for hostage exchange, figuring Luke could beat Anakin to the punch. This is my thought process. I know slightly better now, so just bear with me. So thinking Luke can out force user Anakin really, and that snipers can pick off what's remaining, and hoping that my core units were enough to take down Wookiees. So round one, I ended up actually focusing down the Chieftain. Learned that the Chieftain is not a bad option to snipe if there's not a lot of other options, because he's only 7 health. So I think between a Chewie shot and some sniper shots, I killed the Chieftain round 2.
Yeah, and he relies really heavily on those dodges for defense, which the snipers don't care about. So
yes. But then round 1, the big play was, and I don't want to mess this up. The big play was, and see, I messed up in this thought process too, but I did burst of speed into his hostage to get close. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just force push him. But 1, they're immune to enemy effects and just spaced. 2, Anakin had a standby and they just moved away. I was like, oh, like word that I'm not allowed to say here on cast.
Yeah, exemplar.
Yeah. So now they're probably like, they were just beyond 6. They're probably like 7 inches away from me. at the end of round 1. That was the end of the round, so like Luke wasn't hung out to dry just yet. I was like, oh crap, like it's not great. I'm at speed 1 now. So I had to do sorry about the mess and seize the initiative because I couldn't risk him winning priority and beating me, getting those even farther away.
That's a great combo, by the way, in the Flyboys 2.0 Seize with
It's
sorry about the mess.
Absolutely necessary combo. Always go first unless change of plans or another sorry about the mess. So did that. I moved barely within range 1 and pulled them like 4 inches towards you, and then cohered even farther so they're behind me, and went into melee behind me and killed all but one model. I refused to pierce because stay in melee. But that's where I was stuck. No dodge tokens. First activation of the round, and Luke's just there slightly on my half of the battlefield. So I gained a little bit. He had 2 Wookiee units come charge me after that as I don't remember what happened here, because at some point I had full of surprises up. Already forgetting. You need to have this cast yesterday.
Record while you're in Vegas still.
Yeah, misremembering now. But anyways, Wookiees charged. Luke took a lot of wounds, but still had about half his health left, and played I Am a Jedi next turn to shut them down. Followed that up with Son of Skywalker to kill a full Wookiee unit, and the core units were able to take out the other 2 Wookiee units. Anakin came in to try and make up for it, but I was up by activations at that point. I was able to force push him out into some gun lines, and then Luke and Anakin actually killed each other with Gemso. 1 wound left on each, and I was like, I gotta do it. So killed Anakin with that, and killed Luke. I think that was the only time Luke died the entire tournament. Only time. But and then Han was already running back, cleaning everyone up, and no Wookiees left to stop him. But super great game. Almost lost it a couple times. If dice had been a little hotter for him, then I'm gone. Or less hot for me. I think I had some good defense rolls too on that round that Luke was out in the open. But yeah, that was Saturday.
What do you think of new Han? While we're on the subject of Han,
oh, he's so good, so good. You could play him super safe at range 3. You move out, shoot, move back in. Or you can go crazy and double move and shoot range 4 away from you. His low profile plus uncanny luck is huge. He's always going to cancel 3. Everyone's going for these big dice pools, and 3 of them are gone. It doesn't matter. And then he gets 55% on the few that are remaining from getting to roll and re-roll them.
And that's if you're not guarding with Chewie.
Yeah. Which actually, I never opted to Guardian Han with Chewie, because Han could had such good saves on his own, and taking a wound or 2 on Han is not losing any guns. So I opted to put those on Han and save Chewie just for the core units, really, and snipers. Yeah.
I'm very excited to hear that. I personally am itching to try Han 2.0.
So good.
Flyboys was a thing that I did back in the day before Jedi Luke was even a thing.
Yeah.
The thing, I was talking to somebody the other day, and they were like, hey, do you think Veer's triple bikes is any good? And I'm like, yeah, I think There's a lot. Yeah, there's something there. You know, you got to flesh out the rest of it. But I was just hitting me. And then with John playing Flyboys, I was just like, man, we were in, for anyone listening, if you had any doubt, we're in the golden age of Legion right now, I think, because everything is viable.
Well, and you're talking about a Vader gunline, you know, Vader
yeah.
Empire gunline.
And and you're playing Flyboys with Chewie. Like, what is happening? This is amazing, right?
Protector helps enable Chewie a lot. I will say that. That's a newer card. But yeah, a lot of stuff is extremely viable nowadays.
Yeah.
I do feel that some things like spiders rerolling 4 dice twice tends to outshine some stuff.
So can you explain that?
Get it? Yeah. Spiders, one of the protocols, engagement protocols, I think, gives them AI aim, which they have to aim first.
That's attack protocols if it's the aim one.
No, that's attack protocols. Engagement protocols is AI attack move.
Okay, then I want to double check my opponent's lists. I swear someone had engagement, but everyone was doing this.
Yeah. Okay, aim actually is pretty devastating if you have to trigger it and you're not already like having a target in front of you.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially with the ion gun, because often you have to recover shoot with that.
There's plenty of ways to get an order on them anyways to ignore.
Yeah, clearly. There's ways to build for it. But
the second thing it gives you is precise 2, which means you roll 2 more dice when you aim, which is 4 dice. They have 6 dice at range 4 with that ion gun.
Man, I was watching that final, and it's like at first I was like, John doesn't have any droids or vehicles. I think he'll be all right with these ion spiders. And then he rolls up to like, it was the sniper or something, I think, that was out there first. And then he rolls like, his 3 black, 3 white, and there's like 3 hits in there. And I'm like, all right, he'll be fine. And then he re-rolls 3 of the dice. And then there's like another hit. And I'm like, this isn't great. And then he like picks up more dice and then rolls out 6 paint. And I'm like, ooh.
I don't think I ever saw a spider. I played against, in the 4 separatist games, 9 spiders. I don't think they ever rolled, had less than 5 or 6 hits. It's really hard to get less. You get so many rerolls. Because you always have, so you'll get a name from, if you get an order, you'll get a name from link targeting array.
Yep.
And then it's very common to bring Kalani with him, who's going to strategize and take a suppression. Oh no. To give 2 units an aim and a dodge. And now they have a second aim without even doing anything before they activate. And all you have to do is activate Kalani first, but you're droid, so that's the easiest thing to do in the world. So yeah, super strong. I don't know who else has 6 dice at range 4. Biston is 5.
ATSC.
Okay, something that's good.
I am going to shove those ATSTs down your Luke throat.
AAT. Is there any support unit that's less than 100 points that has?
These are heavy units.
Heavy
yeah, right. What we're talking about is you can have 2 droids for the price of one. Well, not even, for less than an ATST.
Yeah. I think it's like 70.
Yeah, 73.
I mean, I think you could argue that like Staps and speeder bikes have more threat range, but it's cheap.
But the counter to that is, their threat range is that, but it's huge that they can stay at range 4.
Yeah.
And not get shot back except by range 4 weapons.
Yeah, if they're in a spot where like you're not, they don't have to turn.
Yeah.
They don't have to pivot. Then and they can just like sit there aim shooting all day.
Well, at range 4, you have such a huge field of view. Like and then battle lines, like you could get out of it, or melee army.
And then with the link targeting array and Kalani, you don't have to spend that second turn recover, or you can spend the second turn recovering your weapon because you've already got the aim or 2 aims.
You recover shoot.
Yeah.
And you already have 2 aims before doing it.
Yep. Well, let's talk about your Sunday games first.
Yeah.
So
Super gross.
Yeah.
So I played against the other boogeyman Sunday morning, which going into it, I was super glad that was playing Republic and somehow dodged all 4 separatists in the top 6. So that was a blessing, but then turns out it was a lot harder than I expected.
it was so funny in our chat because I think I said something like, are you ready for this monstrosity? And you're like, I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
I thought it was fine. I mean, I talked with Mike Gem a lot when he went big in PAX with that list. And I get the concept, the standbys. I get Yoda can push you into standbys. Like, I understand that. I understand Yoda can move speed 3 then 2. I understand guidance is a thing. Like, I get all that. But all the fire support's in that tank. And jeez, it's tough. Holy crap. I did not understand the magnitude of how many dodges they produce. Holy crap.
It's crazy.
I'm talking like 10 dodges around. And these dodges can dodge crits, which I was rolling some hot dice pools too. I had at least 2 or 3 dice pools, not even fire supported, maybe fire supported, that were like 6 crits between critical and natural crits. Because each heavy weapon I have is critical too. But holy crap, but he would dodge 5 of them and he'd roll for 1. I'm like, oh, well, he's got 66% chance because of surges, and then he'd block it. I'm like, oh, awesome. Yay.
All that work for 1 block.
Yeah, let me try and pull another 6 crits out of my butt. But I had some other strategies going into it, and a big part of it was we were on Long March or Major Offensive. It was something where I gave him a rollout because I was like, yeah, bring the tank. So we're on rollout, which kind of feels like Long March at times. My whole army was deploying on one side. I had a good view of 2 of the key positions. I played a lot of key positions. A lot of key positions and like 3 hostage games. I don't think I played anything but those 2, actually.
Payload.
Hey, you played
Payload
Payload in the final.
Yeah.
Payload. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Broke it up. That's why I lost. Anyways.
Yeah.
So the snipers flanked is what I'm getting at. The whole army was on one side. Snipers were on the other. So for him to shoot my army, the snipers were going to get a side arc shot. And once they would move shoot a lot until I was able to get shots on the tank. But eventually 1 squad sat there in the tank side arc and got like 3 aimed shots on the tank, which the side arc gives me impact 1. The rebel snipers, ignore all 10 of those dodges. And then I'm also piercing. So I think I got like 2 of those shots were like a double crit, and he would block 1 or he'd block them both and pierce 1. But the moral of it is my snipers did about 7 damage throughout the game to the tank. The others came from trying to run around, get the other side arc with my core units. I found a nice spot on the middle terrain where Luke can get within range 2 and see the tank without him seeing me. And I fire supported that once, a saber throw. That was juicy. I think I got 2 wounds on that. But he did repair twice with R2D2. So now we're dealing with 13 saber tank health. And I eventually just, chipped it down. Snipers kept shooting, kept focusing on him. Yoda came in, tried to mess with everyone. He did a little bit, but I'm a Jedi shut him down on his second 1-pip turn, which was very nice. And even then, even with Tank gone and Yoda just alive, it was still pretty much anyone's game because he kept all of his Padme and clones and R2D2 like completely hidden from the snipers until round 5 or 6 when he was going for that middle key position and just started swarming them there. And if he had engaged Han with Yoda or even gone in and attacked Yoda twice or attacked Han twice with Yoda, that might have ended the game. But Luke, I think he was waiting for something else. I'm not sure. But I was able to kill Yoda with Son of Skywalker, and then Rebel Vets coming in to punch Yoda. And then Han was free, and he removes 4 clones at a time. You know, that's the game.
So for those looking for answers against Yoda, Padme, Saber Tank, I guess the answer is split up and flank it.
Yes, absolutely flank. And if you're Rebel or Imperial, bring those snipers because those dodges, save the snipers, shoot for last if you can. I mean, I don't have any control of when they activate because I have one order out at a time. But if you can, save the snipers for last after the dodges are built up and try and get everyone else firing before the dodges are built up. But yeah, flanking's huge. And make the tank keep moving. I was trying to lure the tank away from Padme and away from that range 2, and I thought I was about to get him, but he was still range 2, and I was sad.
All right, and then you got a bye the second round. Is that correct?
I did. They did a weird thing that was totally, I had no input on it, but they did, before Saturday even started, LJ said that on Sunday, if there were 6 remaining, it was going to be first place against 6th for round 1, 2 against 5, 3 against 4, which makes sense. And then round 2, it would be the winner of 1 and 6 would have a bye. And the other 2 remaining players would play against each other. Round 3, it would be a final match between the 2 that are left. So you'd have 3 games in round 1 and then 1 and 1 in round 2 and 3. I think the thinking behind it is like, oh, that 1 versus 6 is the biggest upset or most prestigious something because that's the best one and the worst one. But in reality, we all went 3-0. Like, we're all the same. So probably should have been like a first and second got a bye, and then round 2 they played, and round 3 they played. But
so, and you were the 1, not the 6.
I was the 1. Yeah.
What was the tiebreak system they used for LVO?
You want to hear something, Kyle? You want to hear? They used SOS despite them saying beforehand that it was going to be MOV.
I thought LJ was pretty open that it was going to be SOS.
The packet still says MOV.
Okay.
So they used SOS. And your little point about SOS and MOV being inverse, that Saturday when I had the highest SOS, I had 200% MOVs and a 75%. I was definitely top MOV. And over the whole tournament, the winner, JR, I just calculated it earlier today. He had the highest SOS or highest MOV out of everyone. I could calculate his SOS, but it'll take longer. So, not inverse, always.
Not every time.
I just had to put that in there. It's on my notes here.
Yeah. Well, we needed something controversial about this episode, so this will get us a couple comments.
There you go. Hey. I think. Well, all right. So tell us about the final. So you played J.R. Dieter, who did win the tournament. I guess we kind of buried that lead. Yeah, congrats, J.R. Dieter, for winning LVO.
He went 9-0.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
That's a lot of games. Yeah. He had an Imperial gun line with Maul.
Cis gun line.
Yeah, Cis, not Imperial.
Felt like an Imperial one, maybe.
No, so many bodies. All right, so this one he had Maul, he had Kalani.
I got his list up. I got his list up right now if you want me to go through it.
Maul, Kalani, 2 spiders. He had the probe. He didn't have the probe droids.
No. You sure you don't want me to go through
Maul
this?
without the probe droids.
Yeah, he did not have the probe droids.
Yeah.
I have some. That is one nitpick I would have with this list if I had one. But obviously, it's hard to argue with results. So
he had 6 core units after that, right? Which were 4 E5Ss and 2 E whatever Rs. The
rocket E60R.
Yeah. And it's everything is range 4. You know, that's 6, 7, 8 things shooting at range 4. Plus your orbital strike turn. And turn 0, you know, I thought the map was going to favor me. I thought that was good. I thought payload that, I don't know. I thought that I could chunk down his units more than I did, but no. Round 1, and granted, I didn't play a perfect game. So there's that. I could have kept the snipers at exactly 5, so he couldn't move shoot me. But I didn't, and so he moved shot as soon as I brought a sniper within range 4.5 or whatever. You know, he moved shot with everything, and every E60 E5S got a crit after a move shoot. I'm like, okay, here we go. Lost some models round 1, lost some snipers round 1. I think I lost a squad round 1.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Which is not great when Luke's trying to have the upper hand on force push shenanigans and like objective control. But and that's how like the first 3 rounds I feel went, was staying at range 4 and him shooting at everything he had would shoot, and I would like just get shot at. Chewie would guardian some of it, but like to what end? Because they can't shoot back, or my shots back weren't delivering the same oomph that his were. And so it came to it. I was looking for a moment in rounds like 2 and 3 that Luke could burst of speed into the middle, push someone out, engage someone, do something to tip the payload in my favor. And I almost had it, and then he put a second unit in, like his last activation. It's like, or a third unit, I think. That was a second unit, and then he still had Maul. So that didn't quite work. And then, yeah, we both were able to stall them, I think, round 3 or 4. Round 4, because then he moved it round 5. Round 4, we both stalled him. And I think, and he could have moved his. I think it's purely because he didn't realize that Han was in range. But like I moved him into range. It was like a 20-minute judge check.
Yeah, they brought the laser out on that one.
Yeah, I went off to the bathroom. I was like, there's no reason for me to be here. Like, tell me when it's over. They ruled that Han was within range. And so both cards stalled in the middle, which was huge. It's very important. And then the next round, all the droids came in. Every droid, every model. I think I played I'm a Jedi too, which I don't know. On the one hand, was good because I canceled Duel of Fates. That's great. Great thing to cancel. On the other hand, Duel of Fates doesn't kill me that round. Luke was full health. Even not spending dodge tokens, 8 dice. Very small odds that it kills Luke. It's a 7 health Luke. And I lost a turn of attacking with Luke. So that's what I'm getting at. Maybe it wasn't the best choice. But I did that, stopped a droid and Maul from attacking, and then went on to try to start like trimming down his units as they were building up to swarm. He obviously moved his bomb cart, and I didn't move mine. I knew that was going to happen. I wasn't going to try and stop it unsuccessfully and just lose models. He almost moved the bomb cart in the wrong direction too, and that could have been game ending. Because if he was outside of range 2 and all his droids had to move again to get inside, probably move twice to get into range, because the bomb cart moves farther than that, then I could have chunked down enough of his droids and pushed him away and some Skywalkered them to maybe stall it right there and maybe be ahead in attrition at that point to win on points destroyed. So that was my one hope. But then he saw it, corrected it, was in range 2, and then I called it.
Yeah, just as a third-party observer, it definitely seemed like a game of attrition where the early activation loss just kind of like really hurt your Luke positioning abilities for the latter half of the game.
Yeah. That's how it be. I always like going into this whole tournament, I almost didn't bring Flyboys because of Separatists, because it feels so weak against Separatists. Bobby finally convinced me to bring it, and it went pretty well. So
yeah, it's I like in your list how you have it's not just like straight pure stacking like you see in a lot of Flyboys lists. You have the vets with the heavies, and then you have the MK2s. So you definitely have some capability there to kind of do some crit fishing against white saves. But yeah, that's something that rebel lists are exceptional at pure stacking against red saves, not so great against lots of white saves.
Right.
So
yeah, now I need to find some other fun list to bring. But now I'm all worried about my elo because it went up, and now it's like I can't lose games at tournaments now. I can't bring a fun list because I got to win.
Well, then don't come up here in February because I'm going to beat you.
What is this?
I'm going to drop your elo faster than I don't know, things drop.
Oh, okay.
Elo's a fun thing, but it's not not something to get too worked up about.
Yeah, it's in my head right now because it's fresh. I just updated it. It'll probably be live before this episode is. But, yeah.
Oh, your elo's going to take such a beating.
Maybe I just won't include it. Maybe I'll just
there you go. This tournament doesn't qualify. It's too non-regulation.
These tables are not standard Legion tables.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry.
Doesn't meet the standards, the Bushman standards.
You got to read the fine print.
Isn't that funny though? Like, Kyle, I know you kind of struggle with this too. Like, you have these lists where you're good at, like, and this is what I've been waffling this whole time, right? Where I go, I know I'm good at this list. Kyle knows I'm good at this list. Like, we all know I'm good at this list, but should I bring this list? Don't I need to grow? Don't I need to do something different? And then I waffle forever. And then I end up just bringing the list I knew I should have brought the whole time. But even in this moment, Kyle, I've, as of this morning, decided that was the list, but now I've already changed my mind by this evening. I've decided to go in a different direction already. And then I'll go back and forth for the rest of the week, and probably like 4 days before Kanto, that's when I'll decide. And
yeah, I'm with you. And now that I have Republic as a faction, which I got some painting done, I have Miss Padme here.
Oh, nice.
And Mr. Anakin Skywalker.
Very nice.
And the waffling is horrible.
Yeah.
It's like I thought I knew what I wanted to play. And now after seeing the LVO results, I'm waffling all over again. So
I mean, that's been my whole thing too. Like watching the LVO stuff and seeing the results and the list. I'm like, oh Christ, I can't bring this list. I'm like, this list's gonna get eaten alive.
I actually think if you just work in a couple astromechs, your double ATST is pretty good against droids. Like an ATST can just demolish an ion spider if you've got the astromechs to pull those ion tokens off.
Yeah. The range 4 isn't as scary with the ATST.
Yeah, you just hit it with impact 4. It's only got 6 health.
Yep.
Just blow it up with an ATST and then just rain fire from your Eye of Sauron down on those B1s afterwards. Let's talk about some general meta trends here for LVO. Okay. So I did do a top 6 article, which you can of course find on our blog, thefifthtrooper.com/blog.
Dang, that was fast.
What's that?
That was fast.
I was writing it as I was watching the stream. Because I knew the top 6 at the start of the day. So I basically just wrote it over the course of the day, like when my kids were doing something else. And then I just rearranged it into the correct order at the end of the day, basically.
Had to move me down from top to second.
I did. Yeah, I actually had you listed at the top.
Yes.
And then I'm watching the last game and I'm like, man, I really don't want to move John. But Yeah, I hit publish at literally like as soon as your game finished, basically. But we can talk real quick about the top 6. So the winner, of course, was J.R. Dieter. We already talked about his list, but it was Kalani, Maul. Sorry, Kalani had improvised orders, vigilance, and comms relay, and Maul had all the usual Maul upgrades. Well, actually, that's not true. He had burst of speed instead of saber throw, so that's an interesting choice. 2 B1s with the rockets, one of which had a worker droid, and then he had 4 of the E5Ss with that's the sniper, the critical sniper, and then 2 spider droids with ion and attack protocols and like targeting array. So that is the super Gruis ion spider combination. Kalani plus attack protocols plus link targeting array.
Well, I mean, that's that same. That's what we used to do with Veers, right? And I used to do with Veers and 2 heavies, right? Is you just spottering aims onto them plus link targeting rays. So you end up with 2 aims, and it's pretty nice.
Yep. And then, of course, runner up was Mr. John Bushman. You already talked extensively about your list. A lot. Third place was Bobby Joe Thomas, aka Blood Ocean, running a generic super tactical droid, 6 B1 units with a mix of heavies. He's got a couple E5Ss, a couple E5Cs, a worker droid, 2 worker droids, 2 of the dwarf spiders with ion, and then 2 Magna Guard with the rocket. So, and a 14-point bid, which that might be like the largest bid of the tournament. I think on average bids were like 2 points. I think the average bid was like 2.2 or something. So yeah, bidding gone, nuked. Goodbye bidding. Roll a dice for red blue. Not sure if that's a good thing or not. We can save that for another episode. But there you have it, folks. If you hated bidding, there you go. All right, and then in no particular order, 4 through 6. These were all people that were essentially knocked out in that first round, so they're not ranked in any particular fashion. You have Tom Patton, another droid player. He's got Kraken, some B2 HAs, 4 battle droids. Sorry, 4 B1 battle droids with the droid sniper, 2 Magna Guards, and then 2 of the ion dwarf spiders. You're gonna notice a trend here. And then we got Mike Cirillo, the only top 6 droid player that did not have dwarf spiders. Instead had Kraken, a T series, 2 B2s, 4 B1s with the snipers, and 2 Magna Guard. And then finally you have October, all the way from Germany, with his Yoda Padme Saber tank list, which we've talked about endlessly. You can find that Actually, there's a whole article on it on our blog that Mike Jem wrote. So, yeah, there you have it. That's the top 6. Thoughts just on that, and then we can talk about very briefly talk about the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's hard to tell sometimes because, listen, we are talking heads and we talk about lists and we tell people what we think are good. And so sometimes I wonder, as all these talking heads say, hey, dwarf spiders and this is good, and then you start seeing it more and more prevalent in tournaments. I don't think the meta is shaken out yet. I think this is just what's hot right now. But I think that could change. I don't think that it's completely in its final form, as things will shift, right? As they always do.
Yeah. I was, at least, despite there being 66% of the top 6 being separatists, I am glad at least all 6 separatists were very distinct from each other. At least I'd say.
I mean, kind of. They all of them had a super tactical droid. 3 of them had Magna Guards, and 3 of them had spider droids. So,
I mean, yeah, you're like linking pieces together, but
yeah,
like,
well, yeah, I get what
B2s
you're saying.
or not B2s.
I get what you're saying. They're all variations on a theme.
You have to play against them very differently.
None of them are identical.
Yeah.
Like there were times back in the heyday of Rexstar where you had, I think there was one Invader League semi where there was like multiple Republic lists that were identical down to the upgrades, like every single upgrade.
Yeah.
Like there was a template for Rexstar, and that was what you took.
Yeah.
We're definitely not in that territory with these droid lists for sure. They're all different from each other in the nuance and the upgrades and stuff. So,
right.
Yeah, and I guess that's what I'm getting at. Like, I think that's good, right? Is that even though there's kind of an outline of what the list should be, there's no exact like net decking list, right? And saying, okay, this is the list, this is the one that's going to just keep beating everybody, and you have to get through that one list. That just doesn't exist right now. I was going to say anymore, but I don't know, right? But for right now, it doesn't exist because I believe, I mean, look how far John made it, all the way to second place with something that not many people are going to run, and I think that
came out like by wave 4.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of that option too. I think the seeing a Vader gun line, right? Like who'd have thunk that would be something we'd see again.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning too, I guess we can talk a little bit about Saturday. One observation people made is like, Empire just got all these buffs. Where's Empire in this top 6? There was a ton of Empire representation on Saturday.
Yeah,
which was the first cut day. And there were 12 undefeated players going into the last round on Saturday. And I wish I had written it down at the time, but a significant portion of them were Empire players. And a lot of those games could have gone either way. There was a Vader game on stream that was extremely close. So we weren't far off from having like one or multiple Empire players instead of one or multiple droid players in that top 6.
Okay, it's good to hear.
Yeah.
Republic is the only faction I think that, like, besides the Padme Saber tank, like nobody was bringing clone-centric lists.
No. Yeah.
Everything was Yoda Padme Saber tank or some kind of Wookiee list, basically. Which, it's how things are right now. It'd be nice if their internal balance was a little better, but
yeah, my and what I question here is their balance really that off, or are people just taking things that they know for sure they can be successful with today versus having to think about building a list? And what I'm, for instance, like I still think for Rebels, I still think the party bus is good. And we just stopped using it because I know I brought this up and I keep getting on my soapbox on this, but this happens, right? Like something gets a slight tweak or and then all of a sudden everyone's off of it because, well, now it's no good. And it was only one thing changed that made it great. It doesn't make it not good anymore. It just makes it different, and you got to figure it out. And I think with the cycle of tournaments and how people operate, it's hard to get people to like play with these things and then somebody someday will win with the bus in some weird matchup, like have Mandos and the bus and then go like 4-0 or 8-0 and everybody will be like, the bus is back, baby. Like this is what we do,
Yeah, definitely a bit of that.
There were at least a couple buses. There were, I think, 2 bus games featured on stream. One was double bus Wookiees, and the other one I think might have just been one. No, I think they were both double bus.
Nice.
So people are playing it. I definitely get what you're saying. It's sort of a hard meta for the bus right now, just because the Ion Spiders are so popular. One of those games was the double bus Wookiees against an Ion Spider droid list, and the buses just got locked in place basically, and then shredded. And I think the other one was against Yoda Wookiee list, and like one of them reckless drivered into the middle of the Republic lines, which was a huge mistake because then Yoda just double attacked Impact 4 into the rear arc. And so yeah, I think there's a place for them. I think they're definitely more of a specific, like, I need to build for this rather than just dropping them into every single Rebel list and forgetting about it, which I think is a good thing. But they're definitely not as ubiquitously successful as they were when they first came out. That's for sure. But yeah, we'll see with Republic. I have been racking my brain to try and come up with a clone-centric list, because now that it's not cool anymore, I love the concept of token sharing. And it is kind of a drug. Like even with, I've been running the Anakin Wookiees with naked phase 1s, and even like token sharing with naked phase 1s. I'm like, this is amazing. So, but I can't settle on a list that has like clone heavy weapons in it that I actually like. So we'll see. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you guys got any more LVO thoughts?
No, it's a great tournament. It was really great seeing all those people again. A lot of fun, very exhausting.
How did you like the new format with the 3 days?
I love it. Yeah.
Just for everybody, like, because what we've done in the past, it was 4 rounds. Then the next day was 4 rounds, and then the last day was 3 rounds or something. The last day,
Yeah, 4 rounds a day is absolutely brutal.
It's
already tough getting people out together to get dinner, which is like a big part of these tournaments. And then if you add a 4th round of that, you're not getting home till 1-2 a.m. and then it's like 5 hours of sleep. 6 hours of sleep. Brutal.
Yeah, and I'd say like in most of my experiences, I feel like I'm going strong through like 3 rounds. I'm 3-0. I'm feeling really good, and then I hit that 4th round, and I'm just like, oh my god, I can't do it. I can't do another one of these. And that's where a lot of losses come, is in that 4th round, because you're just tired and you're like over it, and you've been like sweating all day trying to get these wins. And
it was super nice on Sunday to have a 4-hour break after round 1.
Yeah.
I just chilled. I sat there talking with like Lupo and Dan Caslassi, and kicked my shoes off, and was just like sitting here. It was great. Didn't help, but it was great.
Yeah. Hopefully this is like a model for the formats going forward.
Yeah. At least if you have more than 64 people.
Right.
I mean, go ahead. Sorry, Kyle.
Oh, I was going to say, even then, like 64 people, you can do 3 rounds on one day and 3 rounds on the next day. 3 rounds to a top 8 cut.
Yeah, for 2 days instead of 3 days.
Right. Yeah. But you're still doing only 3 rounds a day.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, 100% on the only 3 rounds a day. Most of the tournaments, all this last year, have been 3 rounds.
Yep. I think all of them.
They'd be multiple. Yeah, I haven't been to a 4 round since Adepticon.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Well, and Kanto Bite's doing it too, right? And I was like looking at the Kanto schedule, and listen, that's a hometown tournament for me, so I get to actually just go home and sleep in my bed. But like, I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Like, we just played 3 rounds and we're done by like 6:30, and then I can have dinner with everybody, and then I could go home and still see my wife and kids. Like, it's just like, this is going to be like really great. I'm really excited about this.
Yep.
So yeah, all good.
All right. Well, any final thoughts before we sign off here? All right. Well, we are the Notorious Scoundrels. I'm Kyle.
I'm Jay.
I'm John Bushfacts Bushman.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.